Hello, good day. Welcome again to C1121 Engineering Drawings and Plans. For this pre-recorded lecture, we would be discussing about isometrics and orthographics in the field of technical drawing. So to begin with, isometric projection. As per the definition that is stated here in this slide right here, isometric projection is one method for visually representing three-dimensional objects in technical and engineering drawings. So as for this definition right here, it is already self-explanatory. Sinabi lang niya dito, it is one method for visually representing three-dimensional objects. As for the other definition right here, isometric projection is an axonometric projection in which the three coordinate axes appear equally foreshortened and the angle between any two of them is 120 degrees. So what does that mean? Suppose that we would be having this three-dimensional object right here, which would be a cube, a box. And it is said there in the definition that in isometric projection, it is an axonometric projection in which the three coordinate axes appear equally foreshortened. What that means is that if you would be looking at this object right here, where would that location be such that when you would be looking at it, the three coordinate axes appear equally? And our three coordinate axis right here would be the x-axis, so this line right here, the z-axis, this line right here, and the y-axis line right here. So let's say that this would be x, y, and z. Where would our point of view be such that the lengths of those coordinate axes would appear the same? So it would approximately be here if you would be looking at it here, approximately. And it is also said here that the angle between any two of the axes would be equal to 120 degrees. So once again, if you are to look at this object right here directly at this point, if you would be looking at this angle right here, that should be equal to 120 degrees, as well as this part right here, 120 degrees, as well as this part right here, 120 degrees. So where would that location be? So if you could see in your lower right part of the screen, it is said there that in order for you to project a certain object isometrically, you should be located in this angles right here. So there, that should be 35.264 degrees and 45 degrees from that axis right there. What this means is that if you would be looking directly at a certain object at this point right here, so suppose that your eyes is in this blue dot right here and you would be looking at this object directly, you are actually projecting that certain three-dimensional object isometrically. So that's just it. And these are some examples of isometric projected objects. So this would be a cube, this would be a cylinder, this would be a pyramid, and this would be a cone, and this would be a sphere that is projected isometrically. So there. So isometric drawing, is it the same as isometric projection? Somehow it is the same, the point of view of which would be the same. So if you would be drawing isometric drawings, you must first project it in this exact plane right here, exact point right here. It is said here that isometric drawings is a type of three-dimensional drawing that is set out using 30-degree angles. And it is a projection in which the three coordinate axes appear equally and the angle between two of them is 120 degrees. So parehas pa rin itong second definition na to doon sa una. Pero once again, they have differences, yung isometric projection and isometric drawing. So let's go back to that three-dimensional object right here. If you would be looking at it here, and let's say that this part right here, the dimension of the cube is 5 by 5 by 5. If you would be looking at this directly, you could see 5 meters of it. But if you would be rotating this object right here, this line right here seem to shorten kasi parang lumalayo siya kumbaga, di ba? So once again, if you would be looking at it directly, so ito lang pansinin niyo itong line lang na to. If you would be rotating it slowly, that line right there seem to shorten. It's because that tumatagilid yung object mo and sa line of sight mo, mukha siyang lumiliit. And in isometric drawing, if this side right here is equal to 5 meters, you would be drawing it exactly 5 meters in the three-dimensional plane. So, ito i-compare nyo yung view, no? This is what you call an isometric drawing. What I meant earlier is that if you would be drawing this cube right here, if this is 5 meters, and i-drawing niya siya using your triangles, which is 30 degrees. So, ano pala, kapag when you say isometric drawing, you should use 30-degree triangles. And anyway, if this part right here of the line, parahin ko lang, if this part right here of the cube is 5 meters, you would be drawing 5 meters of it, not considering the fact that if you would be looking at this object right here, medyo tumatagilid siya. No. So there, if you could see the difference between the two of them, the green cube on your left is an isometrically projected three-dimensional object, and the one on your right is an isometrically drawn object. So that would be their difference. And our main focus for this subject is isometric drawings. Pero kinumpare ko lang. So that would be it. So next up, orthographic projection. As per the definition once again that is stated in this slide right here, orthographic projection is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional object. The 2D drawing represents different sides of an object. So this definition right here is pretty straightforward. What it means is that if you want to represent a certain three-dimensional object orthographically, you must just represent the different sides of it. Namely, that would be the top, the front, and the right side view. And suppose that we would be having this 3D object right here and we want to represent it orthographically, spoiler alert, it would look like this. So this would be the two-dimensional projection of this three-dimensional object right here. Pero saan ba nanggaling ng orthographic projection na to? If you would be looking at this certain three-dimensional object right here directly from the front, to the front, I should say, if you would be standing along this point and you would be staring directly at this object right here, you would see a figure that would be exactly like this. So this would be a front view. And if you would be looking at this certain three-dimensional object right here directly from the top, you would see this right here. So as you can see, there is a rectangle right there and an inverted letter U. So that would be the top view of it. And as for the right side, if you would be standing here at this part right here and you would be looking directly at this object right here, you would see the right side of it that would be looking like this. But what does this broken line represent? If you can see here that there is actually a certain plane right here, that there is a certain object right here, that if you would be looking at it in this side, hindi nyo makikita to, but it is actually important. So, kailangan pa rin natin siyang ilagay doon. So, once again, this line right here represented a line, a certain line that cannot be seen if you would be looking at it this way, but it is of utmost importance na ilagay natin siya to represent that figure better. So, example. So, suppose that we have this three-dimensional object right here. So, ito no, three-dimensional siya. If we are to look at it at a point that would make its axis 120 degrees, so for example, at this point right here, and suppose that these two lines right here form an angle of 120 degrees, as well as for these two lines right here, 120 degrees, as well as for these two lines, 120 degrees, this is what you would be calling a isometric projection. But since alam nyo na yun when we talked about the cube right here earlier, so eto, nung pinag-usapan natin yan, what we would be focusing right now would be the orthographic projection of this certain figure right here. Like I said earlier, that in order for us to project a certain three-dimensional object orthographically, we must draw its front view, its top view, and its right side view. So with that being said, this would be the front view. So itong blue lang na to, ito lang yung front view niya. And if we would be looking at it from the top, this would be the top view. Itong brown part lang na to. And if we would be looking at it from the right side, this would be the right side view. Itong yellow lang. So, yun. With those being said, our orthographic projection would be this one. So, eto siya, no? So, explain lang natin kung saan nanggaling yung mga yan. If you could see in the upper left corner on your bottom right screen, yung orthographic view niya, what that actually is the top view. So this would be the top view of your figure. And explain na natin dito, this would be the top view. Itong brown lang na part. Kung ano yung nakikita mo sa ibabaw, that is what you would be drawing. So this would be the top view. And if we are to look at the front view, I mean, if you are to look at the front, that is what you call the front view. So, etong blue lang na lines na to. So, that would be this. But if you can see here that we actually have a hidden line here, that signifies that in this figure, we might be looking at this part right here, but behind it, there is actually a line that we cannot see here kasi natakpan siya. That's why we have indicated a hidden line there. So, that hidden line there is this part right here. Itong brown na to. Kapag kasi i-rotate natin siya dito, hindi natin makikita. But that is significant in orthographic projection. So, kaya natin linagyan ng hidden line dun. As well as for this line right here. Ito, kung makita nyo, itong line na to, if we would be looking at the right side view of it, hindi natin siya makita kasi natakpan siya nitong itong square na to. But there is actually a line there. That's why we have indicated a hidden line in this part of the drawing. So, yun lang yun. And as well as for this line right here, itong nasa baba na to, if you would be looking at this side right here, hindi natin siya makita kasi natakpan, but meron siya doon. And yun, kaya lang natin in-indicate na meron ditong hidden line. So, palaki lang natin. Oh. This is what its orthographic view would look like. I mean, this would be the orthographic drawing. That is the idea behind orthographic views. There. So, let's have another illustrative example right here. So, suppose that we would be having this three-dimensional object right here, and our goal is to produce its orthographic drawings. And by orthographic drawings, we would be drawing its orthographic projections. And in orthographic projections, we would only be concerned with its top view, front view, and right side view. So, with that being said, this would be the front view, this would be the top view, and this would be the right side view. So, ito mga to yan. But the first thing that we have to do is to find its measurement. But I've already done that for you. So, makita na natin, this is 1.5 meters, 1.5 meters, 2.5 meters, and etc. So, to begin with, we must draw a horizontal line that would be your base for the front view. So, this would be your front view. So, punta tayo sa paper ko. If this is to be your paper, we must draw first a horizontal line. So, let's say that this would be my horizontal line right here. And I would be measuring 5 centimeters. Since this right here, yung base natin dito would be 2.5. This is 2.5 meters and this is also 2.5 meters. And if you would be adding that, that would be 5 meters. Then, pero sa drawing natin, let's say we would be having a scale of 1:100. So, 5 centimeters yung idodrawing natin. So, now that I have drawn my horizontal line right here, I would now be measuring 5 centimeters from it. So, if that is 0, this is 5. So, alam nyo na yan, this is 5 centimeters. Wait lang, ituro ko lang. So, this would be this part, from this part to this part. Etong drawing kong line na to. Ito lang. And now, it is said here that this height right here is also the same as this, so that would be also 1.5. So, if that is 1.5 meters, we will draw a 1.5 meters height in this part of the drawing. So, I would now be once again be drawing a vertical line right here. And now I will be measuring, how many is that? 1.5 meters. So, lagyan lang natin, no? Yan yung 1.5 meters. Tayuan natin yan para kita. And dun naman tayo sa left, it is said here that itong 1.5 meters na to and another 1.5 meters, that would be 3 meters. So, we would be drawing a 3-meter line on this side right here. 1, 2, 3. So, this is 3 centimeters. And I will be finalizing that part. And now, what's next? Ito, hatiin natin tong base sa 2.5 meters. I would now be measuring 2.5 from it. And now, pwede na natin i-drawing tong box na to. So, that would be this part right here. So if I am to draw using the pen, para lang makita nyo tong box na to, so I will be clicking this box right here. Ito, yung part na yan would be this part right here. So this box right here is this box right here. Now, let's draw the rest of the figure. So, meron pa tayo 1.5 pataas, which is this. And i-plot na natin tong 1.5 din na ito, which is this part right here. So, what we have to do is to trace yung mga nilagyan na nating grid line and to connect this part of your orthographic drawing to this part. So, eto siya, etong part na to, and eto din part na to. So, it would simply be like this. And now I will be drawing my vertical lines. So that would be your front view. So that is this front view right here. And if we would be moving to the top view, so this would be the top view. So ito yung top view niya, itong yellow line na yan. Though it would be slanted if you would be looking at it at the front, if you would be looking at it from the top naman, hindi mo makikita yung pagka-slant niya. So, basically, you are just drawing a rectangle and a square. But, mind you guys that you should be strict in this alignment right here. So, if this would be your front side view, draw a vertical line on along its points of interest. So, that would be that part. I don't know if you can see, but I hope you can see. Then, dito, dinan ko na lang. And as for this part, magawa ka din ng vertical lines. So, dapat aligned siya. So, there. If these are your lines of interest, meaning that etong point na to ng front view mo, and kapag tinop view mo naman, etong point din na to, dapat aligned din sila. That's why I have drawn these lines that would be showing our points of interest. So, yun. And if you could see, na dito sa baba, meron tayong 2.5 meters. So, once again, magdraw tayo ng 2.5 meters. But we have already established that 2.5 meters width kasi naglagay na tayo ng vertical line dito. So, itong 2.5 meters na to, pre-project lang natin sa taas. So, from that, we are just tracing it. So, it would be this. And for this part right here, sinabi niya dito, 2.5 meters din siya. So, we would be measuring 2.5 meters from there. Then another 2.5 meters pataas. So that would be your top view. So if you could see that nakakita lang tayo ng isang square dito and another rectangle here. So now what is left is our right side view. And if we would be drawing our right side view, it should be in this area right here. Pero paano natin malalaman kung saang area siya dyan? The first thing that we would do is to draw horizontal lines para i-align lang natin siya yung kung ano yung location ng right side view sa part na to. So that would be here. So once again, I will be drawing lines of interest. So that would be there, there, and there. So if you could see, gumawa ako ng 3 lines to align this part of your drawing to the right side view. So what that implies is, like in this 3-dimensional figure right here, if you would be rotating it this way, magka-align itong point na to dito sa point na to. That is its implication. So from that, we would now be drawing its right side view. But first things first, we must draw a horizontal line here para ihiwalay lang natin yung top view and yung front view. So it would be here. And now for us to align this right side view to the to this top view right here, in this line we will be drawing a 45-degree line. So it would be this. Gagawin ko ng pen para makita nyo. So it would be there. And now that I have placed my 45-degree line there, I will now be placing a horizontal line here. There. So I don't know if you can see, but I have actually made 3 lines right here. So the use of those lines is for us to align our right side view to the front view and to the top view. So now that I have placed my lines there, I would now be projecting it vertically downwards. So kung ano yung intersection ng 45-degree line na yan and netong horizontal line na ginawa natin sa figure na to, project it downwards. So it would be this. So now that I have placed the location of this right side view here, ang gagawin na lang natin is to trace my guidelines. To draw this part of the three-dimensional figure right here, so ito yung magiging itsura niya, no? So it would be this. And since itong 2.5 meters na to is nasa right side, and if you can see, it would be this. It would be aligned to this part right here. Itong line kasi na to, it is also this line right here. So check nyo yung left side and yung right side ng screen nyo. Iisang linya yung tinuturo ng daliri ko and yung tinuturo ng cursor ko. So that would be it. And for us to plot this, itong figure na to, that would be the intersection of this, a part of the orthographic projection here, and this. Kasi kapag sa front view mo naman titignan, ito siya. Ito siya. Itong point na to. So it would be this. It would be that part right there. Itong intersection neto and neto. So that is this line right here. So from that, kung yan na yung nakita nating line na yan, these two lines right here is also these two lines right here. So I will now be drawing vertical lines from it. So that would be our figure. That would be this part of the area right here. So, eto siya. Etong clinic kong figure na to, yan yung na-draw na natin. Wait, pero wala pa tayong baseline. So, that would be the whole rectangle right there. So, ito yung rectangle na yan. And as for the other side, itong part na to ng figure, it is the intersection of this part of the front view right here, itong linyang to, which is this one. And kapag tinignan mo from the top view, eto siya. And eto din siya. So, same siya yung tinuturo ko. So, from that, etong intersection na to ng buo, and itong projected intersection niya, that would be that area right there. So, from that, ito yung area na yun. So, yan, nakagawa na tayo ng dalawang rectangles which are these two figures right here. So, that would be this one and this one. Ito yan. Ito at ito. Ang natira na lang is etong slanted area na to. Pero, kapag titignan mo naman siya in the right side, you won't see any slant. So, parang rectangle din lang siya. And we can already see that this part of the area right here is the intersection of this, itong part na to, and itong part na to. So, meaning, this would be your orthographic drawing of it. So, aside from the dimensions, complete na tayo. So, for us to complete this drawing right here, lalagay lang natin yung dimensions natin. But, yeah, that's how you would draw an orthographic drawing coming from a three-dimensional drawing. Lalabelan nyo lang to ng front view, top view, and ng right side view. So, this is the orthographic projection of this three-dimensional figure right here. So let's have an example wherein we are given an orthographic drawing and we must project it isometrically. So by that, we would be drawing an isometric drawing. So in this part of your technical drawing, it is a matter of understanding the views and imagination. So kailangan nyo imagine kung ano ba yung nakikita nyo sa harap nyo. And in isometric drawing, the best way to draw an isometric drawing is to imagine a box which would exactly hold the object you want to draw. And draw the box using construction lines. Then, dun sa box na yun, ipapasok natin tong mga views na to. Itong tatlong yan. And if you can remember our lesson a while ago that in isometric drawings, your angles should be in 30 degrees. So in this isometric drawing, we would be using a 30-degree triangle. So there. And the first thing we have to do is to draw a box that could hold all of this. And if you can see in our drawing right here, palabasin lang natin laser pointer, we actually have the dimensions here. So, the whole base of it would be 6 meters. So, ito, 6 meters yan. This is 6 meters by 1 meter plus 3 meters. That would be 4 meters. And the width of it would be 5 meters. So, that would be 6 by 4 by 5. So, there. And now, what we have to do here is to draw a vertical line. So, mag-draw muna tayo ng vertical line somewhere here. So, yan. Nag-draw lang ako lightly because we would be measuring 4 meters from it first. Kasi 4 meters nga yung height natin na neto. So, this would be 4 meters. This is the front view, the right side view, and the top view. Okay. So, I will now be measuring 4 centimeters. So, this would be 4. 4. So, 1:100 na yung scale natin. So, this is 4. So, that would be your 4-meter line. So, 1:100, gumamit ako ng 4 centimeters to draw this 4-meter line right here. And I would now be drawing the sides of that imaginary box that we have talked about earlier. And we would be using a 30-degree triangle since 30 degrees dapat yung ipoproject natin. So, that would be this. And ganun din dapat sa kabila. So, gawa ulit tayo sa kabila. And this. So, since gumagawa tayo ng box, gawa din tayo sa taas. So, that would be. So, there. And now, if this part of your drawing here would be your front view, and this would be your right side view, and this will be your top view, kung ano man yung nandito sa area natin na to ng orthographic drawing, yun dapat yung makikita natin dito. So, if that would be the case, and our base here would be 6 meters, we would be measuring 6 centimeters here. If our scale would be 1:100. Pero yun na lang muna example natin. So, this would be 6. So, that would be 6 meters. And now I would be drawing a line there. And from that, since vertical line yung nandito, I would also be drawing a vertical line. Ang ginagawa pa lang pala natin dito is the imaginary boxes of it. So, there. And in your right side view, this is 5 meters. So, in your right side view, I will be drawing a 5 centimeter line right here. So, this is to be our 5 centimeter line. Once again, what I am doing now is just the imaginary box. So, there. Drawing na naman ako dito ng 30-degree line. So, this is a 30-degree line. And this is also a 30-degree line. So, now that I have made our imaginary box, okay, yung makuha yung triangle. Ngayon, ipaproject na natin tong views na to. So, if in our right side view, we could see this, and in our front view, we could see this, and in our top view, we could see this. Ngayon, mag-imagine na lang tayo na kung ano ba yung figure na ibubuo natin dito wherein you would be seeing these views right here. Meron tayo ditong solid line sa part na to, sa part na to, and sa part na to. So once again guys, this part of technical drawing makes use of your imagination skills kung paano nyo ipoproject yung certain image. So there. And ano pa ba yung sure ako na pwedeng i-drawing dito? It would be this line right here. Ito siya. From that, i-drawing ko na din yung line na yan. So there. But as you can see here, etong part na to ng drawing nyo, that in this part right here, walang line dito. So meaning, etong part lang na to, yung malalagyan natin. So 1 meter yun, no? So that should be 1 meter. I will be measuring a 1 centimeter line here since 1:100 nga ulit tayo. So there. So this would be your 1 centimeter line. You also have a 1 meter line here. Itong part na to. So, whatever is horizontal in the orthographic view must be 30 degrees in the isometric view. So, from that, I will now again be drawing a line here in this part right here. And I would be measuring 1 centimeter. So, that would be our line right there. Meron tayong figure na dire-diretsyong ganito. Dito. So, that would be this part right here. And since I am already sure what I'm about to draw, uunahan ko na ng pens natin. So, i-pen ko na agad. So, it would be this. And I will once again be drawing another 30-degree line right here. So, nag-project lang ako ng 30-degree line. I don't know if you can see, but there is actually a 30-degree line here. And I will be drawing another 30-degree line right here. So, yung na-measure kong 1 meter kanina. So, it would be this. So, there. Bale, ito na yung mga sigurado kong mga figures. If you would be looking at the top, there would be a 1 meter line here. So, from that, magdodrawing ako ngayon ng 1 meter line dito. So, this would be 1 centimeter, I mean. Then, 1 centimeter here. Once again, guys, whatever is horizontal in the orthographic view should be drawn in 30 degrees in isometric view. So, this is isometric and this is your 30-degree triangle. So, there. Kung ano man yung nakikita natin sa harap, na ilagay na natin dito sa part natin ng drawing na to, itong mga nandito. But if you can see, there is a hidden line right here. So meaning that if you are looking at the front view, meron dyang lines na to nakatago sa likod ng view nito. So there. I-drawing ko lang ulit lahat ng mga sigurado na akong lines, and that would be this line right here. And this line right here. So there, ano pa bang kulang natin? If you could see on the top view that it has a void here. Ito, may nakita mo, may butas dito kapag nakatingin ka dito. And if you can see in the front view, meron tayong hidden line doon. In the right side view, meron din tayong hidden line na to. Meaning, merong butas dito sa part ng likod na to. So, how can we plot this? Sinabi dito sa top view, 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, and yung butas mo is also 2 meters. So, from that, using this line right here in the back, magdodraw tayo ng 2 centimeters. So, that would be 2, 4, and 6. Nilocate na natin yung butas. So, nandun. Eh, paano natin i-draw yung butas? So, ito. Sinabi din dito sa top view and sa right side view that the thickness of that hole right there is 2 meters. And from that, we would be drawing a 30-degree line once again here. And another one here. So, 2 meters daw. Mag-measure ako ng 2 centimeters. So, depende siya sa scale. So, ito. That would be 2 meters and that would be 2 meters. Now, I will be drawing a 30-degree line right here. So, since I am already sure that what I'm about to draw na final siya, I would now again be drawing with the unipin. So, meron na tayong butas. Pero, if we are to view this three-dimensional object in this direction, may makita din tayong linya dito. So, we would be drawing it here. So, this would be your line right there. So, are we done? Actually, hindi pa. Kailangan pa din natin i-draw yung mga hidden lines na nasa figure na to but we cannot see in this point of view. So, it would be the other sides of this three-dimensional figure right here. So, it would be this. So, I would now be drawing the hidden lines. So, there, that is to be our 3D figure right here. So, ayan siya. So, once again guys, this part of technical drawing relies on your ability to understand orthographic drawings and your ability to imagine on how you would be drawing it and how you are to see this figure right here isometrically. And itong mga hidden lines na to indicates that these are the edges that are present in this three-dimensional object right here but is not visible if you would be looking at it at this point of view. So yan, kumbaga ito yung mga nasa likod, mga hindi natin nakikita, mga behind the scenes. So, there. And that would be for this pre-recorded lecture. I hope you understood. And if not, practice lang. So, thank you and have a nice day.